Hi, this is a short demo of the Montara platform. Montara manages an isolated environment in your data warehouse where data analysts can easily create, update, and schedule tables without compromising on quality or governance. And data never leaves your warehouse. Let's take a common scenario. Say I finished conducting an ad hoc analysis and I want to turn it into a table that refreshes daily. Instead of creating a ticket for the data engineering team, I can do it myself. So I'm going to create a table from my existing code. Let's give it a name and paste in my code. I'm going to start with previewing the data. Let's take a look at the results. I can also visualize them to make sure that everything looks good. Next, I'll set a refresh schedule. I want my table to be refreshed once a day at 3 a.m. And I want it to run daily. Let's save and run this. After Montara analyzes my code, it's going to create the table in Montara's isolated schema. Okay, the table is being created in real time. And now I have a table with 14,000 rows. Cool. So a few days pass and something looks off with my dashboard. After investigating the issue, I find that my new table has bad data flowing into it. Before Montara, I had to go back to the BI or data engineering team to get help fixing the issue. But now I can do the data validation myself. The good news is that most of the work gets done automatically by the AI validation agent. Montara provides a true AI-powered experience with AI agents and co-pilots. And the Montara AI has a deep understanding of all the tables, their columns, and how they relate to each other. And it keeps learning and improving from every user engagement. You can add validations to each of the columns, or you can simply let the AI agent do that for you. And the more validations you add, the deeper our AI learns your organization's naming conventions, reserved words, and more. Now, another tedious task is documenting tables and columns. Luckily, our AI documentation agent does that for you by documenting the table descriptions and columns. With every interaction, it is going to improve and better understand the acronyms, the terminology used by organization, and much, much more. Now, developing in Montara is a delightful experience, especially with our powerful AI Copilot. Say you want to do something like removing empty values. Because the Copilot has such a solid understanding of the data assets and the relationship, you don't need to provide additional context. It understands. Another major dependency between the analyst team and the data engineering team is incremental tables. With Montara, I can easily do it myself. Simply change the table to incremental, select the column that represents the key for the record, and for each data source, specify the columns that represent the time of the record. You can also add a sliding window or set up data retention to delete old records. That's it. I have an incremental table. Now, when working on a table, you often want to understand the impact of changes. Montara offers a powerful lineage capability that shows you the assets that your table depends on, its downstream dependencies, and even the reports and dashboards that are dependent on your table. So you can easily understand the impact of your work all the way down to the column level. Now, this is the lineage for a specific table, but you can also view the lineage for the entire project. So I made changes to one of my tables, and before publishing and pushing to production, I want to make sure that the code works well and the validations pass. I'm going to use the test changes feature. Test changes is going to run all the change tables and their downstream dependencies in an isolated sandbox in Montara, so I can make sure that everything works without worrying that I'm going to impact production. Cool, my test passed and all validations look good. So I'm going to go ahead and publish my new version. Montara automatically manages versions, so you can easily compare and revert to previous versions in case something goes wrong. Now, we've seen how I can schedule a refresh for a specific table, but usually you have dependencies between multiple tables. To refresh multiple tables, create a pipeline. With a pipeline, you refresh tables together using a scheduler. Montara automatically analyzes the code of all your tables and determines the execution order. All you have to do is simply specify which tables you want to include as part of a pipeline, and then set up a schedule. You can also trigger a pipeline using tools like Airflow with our webhook. So now we have a lot of tables and pipelines running, and things might get out of hand. Montara automatically monitors all your tables, runs, and pipelines to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Built-in observability lets you see each pipeline and each run, how long it took for it to run, the code version, and you can drill down much further. And on a table level, you can answer questions like what table takes the most to run, as well as view row count, data version, and drill down into specific module runs to view runtime and rows inserted. So we've seen how I was able to create and manage tables independently, and I never had to switch between tools. Montara took care of everything.